What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be going back to ground forces, and we're going to be taking this out, the M26 Pershing. Now, I have covered this tank before on my channel, but it was a just a replay of a quite a good round that I had. Today we're actually going to be taking it out and putting it through its paces. I guess you could kind of look at this as a bit of a review. Now, as you can see, this is now after 1.47 went live, and with that the closed beta testing of Steel Generals of the American tanks ended, so everyone can now research the rest of the American tank line. And this is one of those tanks that I highly recommend that you do. Now, it's classified as a medium tank, Tier 4, with a battle rating of 6.7. Now, when this actually debuted during the Second World War, it was actually classified as a heavy tank by the American Army. However, a bit later on in its life, it was reclassified to a medium. But anyways, let's have a quick look at the tank. It's 41.6 tons, 500 horsepower, which is one of the weak parts of the tank. Top speed of 46 kilometers an hour. Turret rotation speed excellent, 24 degrees a second. Hull armor 101 at the front, 76 on the sides, and 51 at the back. Turret armor pretty much the same according to the stat sheet. And then obviously there's your gun penetration. Now, having a look at the armor itself, you can see 101 with a slight slope, or 43 degree slope, so that gives you about 128 mils of protection from the front, which is not great. It's not terrible. It will save you, but you probably don't really want to lean on it. This is I'm not sure if it's actually modeled properly, but this is supposed to be a weak spot through there. The front, you can see again 100 mils, but then you've also got that there, another 100 and 114. So there are gaps and holes in there, but you do have some pretty decent armor on your gun mantlet, so this is quite a good tank to go hull down if that is the playstyle you enjoy. From the sides, 70 over in the front, 2/3 of the tank, and actually 50 at the back by the engine. Turret 76 at the back, and 50 at the back of the tank over here. So let's have a look at the modules. As you can see, it is fully researched. As for the ammo choices, you have the T-33 shot, maximum pen of 161 down to 130. You then have the M82 armor-piercing capped ballistic capped shell. A couple of capped, too many there, but anyway. This obviously has a high explosive component to it. Penetration of 157 down to 121, so not as high as the T-33, but I don't think I've fired this in a very long time. And then you've got the M304 APCR, which has some very impressive penetration, 254 millimeters at 10 meters down to 171. So with these rounds you can really deal with pretty much anything you come up against. So let's have a quick look at the internals of the tank. You have to drive up front and your machine gunner. A lot of ammo down low, so if you do get a side shot, go sort of, say, middle, directly beneath the turret, you'll pretty much ruin the tank's life. Engine and transmission and radiator and fuel tanks, all that at the back, so you're not likely to get set on fire when you take hits from the front very often. There's some more ammo in the turret, so if you've got a shot from the left hand side, go for that part of the turret. Otherwise, a pretty standard layout. But this tank has really become one of my favorites in the game. I used to love the T-44 for like a Tier 4 medium, but I think this Pershing has now taken that spot. I have finished researching Tier 4. This was actually unlocked this earlier this evening, and now I've started research on Tier 5. These three are all pretty much the same, no massive differences. I mean, there are some, but I look forward to unlocking them. But anyways, for this video we are going to be ignoring the normal vanilla game modes, and we are going to be hopping into an event, the Simulator Challenge. Now, this intro is being recorded after the gameplay itself, and I have to say I don't know what Gaijin is getting at with this lineup. This is pathetic. I mean, allowing the M26 into this game is nothing short of allowing me to seal club. Now, that wasn't originally my intent. I just noticed that the M26 was in the lineup and I'd wanted to use it in one of these challenges, so I kind of got in before looking at what the enemy could have. And I mean, the best tanks that they pretty much have are the Tigers, and Tigers are no problem for the Pershing whatsoever. I mean, you're not invincible, don't get me wrong. I did die a few times, but for the most part it was quite spectacular, the results you can get with this. So anyways, we are going to be hopping into a match on Kursk, which is not one of my favorite maps, but yeah, let's cut the talking for now, and I'll see you guys when we get into the game. Right, welcome back, and we are on Kursk, as I said. Now, one thing I also didn't quite realize was that when you do these special events, the normal matchmaking goes on holiday. You can see my team is made up of Shermans, T-34s, IS-1s. I'm pretty much the deadliest tank on our team. So anyways, we're going to head down into the bottom of this hill and move across and try and get a flank on the Germans. Now, one of the weak points of the Pershing, something which does at least get rectified by the M26, from what I understand, is its mobility. It does, even though, as I said, it's classified as a medium tank, it kind of does feel a bit more like a heavy tank to drive, and that is because it's only got that 500 horsepower, which I think might be, at least it feels like it's a little bit on the low side. So we're going to move down here, keeping an eye on the sky. The last thing I need is for my day to be ruined by a Stuka. Thankfully that's not going to happen. Yeah, so I've really enjoyed this tank. Here, just taking a quick look at the new driver's view, I don't quite know what the point of this is. You know, maybe you get a better view of what's going on in front of you, but for the most part, you don't really need it. I do really like the new binoculars though, the new binocular view, which is something we will see right now. We're just going to quickly scan the ridgeline. And this is brilliant, you know, it's got a bit of a higher magnification than your gun sight, slightly greater field of view, and you can move it around quicker, and especially for people who like to play tank destroyers, this is going to be of huge benefit to them. So we're moving down, as I said, through here, keeping an eye on the sky, but I used to, when I first was grinding up the vehicles in ground force, I used to love the Russian. I really liked the Panther in tier 3, but once you got to tier 4, the T-44 was just the medium tank to go for. You know, there was no two ways about it. I'm fairly sure it's been nerfed since I last played it, because it's nowhere near as indestructible as it was. But this is definitely my favorite medium tank. Now, the T-44 still has the edge in mobility, and you can see here this is fairly, you know, flat ground. We're on, you know, going full throttle, and it's quite slow. But the main, you know, the thing that this tank is all about is that gun. This 90mm gun. Just having a look here at the Stuka, hoping he doesn't decide to turn his vision my way and come and say hello. This is obviously dangerous moving out in open ground like this, but I'm not really gonna sit in camp. It's not my style. So as I was saying, like, the gun is what this tank is all about. The T-44 is, you know, at least when I played it, used to play it, was good frontal armor and awesome mobility and an average gun. This is average mobility. I'd even say average protection, but I mean the gun just steals the show. The penetration isn't that great with either the armor piercing or the armor piercing capped, ballistic capped. But it's a one-shot wonder, this gun. I actually believe that the shell that I have loaded right now has more explosive content within the shell than the 122mm round from an IS-2, 3 or 4. So when this shell penetrates, you're either going to one-shot the tank or you're going to really mess them up. But if you just look there, you can see some of the new graphical effects. That you can see there's a tank firing on the hill in front of me, and you can see the shockwave, if you will. And it turns out to be a Russian teammate, so we're just going to leave him be. Now, obviously, as I said, the penetration on this round isn't that great, but you do have the welcome option of APCR rounds with some very good penetration. And there we can see a Tiger who's not paying attention, and we take the shot, and how's this lag? I mean, it took nearly, a second, nearly 2 seconds for the game to actually register on my side that I had received the kill. Playing from South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it great? And anyway, as you can see, you know, I mean, that was a shot that would have probably been a one shot in a lot of other vehicles. Hit his ammo, but that's pretty much par for the course with this gun. And if you can't penetrate, you do have APCR rounds, which have much higher penetration, but obviously no explosive content in them, and you've got to hit critical components. I don't really think I've ever used them. I did take this out into a simulator battle once, and I had, and look at this, Tiger comes over, fires a shot, ain't nobody cares, and a shot through the front, posting him a letter through his little postbox there, and there we go. That is kill number 2. But I came head to head at about 400 meters with the King Tiger H with the Henschel turret, and I had to load APCR to try and get through him. And now we just see the silhouette of a German tank, and there we go, another kill. And I did have to use APCR there, but even then, I mean, he was angled just right, so I couldn't actually penetrate him. So I haven't used it all that much. And here's, just going to get out of the gun sight, you'll see another effect of 1.47. Look at all that mud on my tank. You can see it on the barrel, on the top of the turret. It was quite a nice little feature. So, I want to move across and start capping B, but that will put me moving in front of the enemy spawn. And I don't really like to do this. You know, kind of dirty, you know, getting them as they're coming out of spawn. But that is, you know, the path that I need to take to get to the capture point, you know, flanking around this way. And just scanning with the binoculars. And I think this binocular view is a really welcome addition to, especially these absolute sim battles, when you don't have things showing up on the minimap. And I see an explosion to my left, and I mean, what is this tank doing in a round with me? And that was just a slightly unlucky shot, hit him right on that very angled piece of armor. But I mean, he can't do anything. Send a shot through the front, and that is kill number 5. And you see, I mean, like, this matchmaking is absolutely shocking. a lot of these tanks should not be seeing a tank like the M26. The Tigers, yeah, they can, even in normal battles, they will see that, but some of these other ones, it's really kind of unfair to them. So that's kill number 6. I think there's one more. But we're now gonna, I think we've made sure it's safe. We're gonna move up and go and capture A. We've got our Russian buddy next to us. So we're gonna start moving across now. We gotta kind of make a run for it. A lot of the tanks, you know, even though they are vastly inferior to this tank, it's only got 70mm or 75mm of side armor, so they can very easily penetrate. And there we go, that's kill number 7. I mean, that was just easy. And that's this tank. In some ways I kind of think it's a bit overpowered sometimes, but when you've got the normal normal matchmaking in effect, I kind of would then disagree, because you do die a lot. King Tigers have no problem dealing with you. IS-2s have no problem dealing with you. You'll see IS-3s sometimes, they have no problem. So when you're in a normal battle, it's you've still got a very good gun, and if you get the first shot off, you've got a good chance of getting the kill, but you're by no means invincible. That frontal armor, even with the slope, it was what, 130. A normal Panther D can penetrate that with the stock rounds, I think. But I mean, why isn't the Panther in this event? I'm in a tier 4 BR 6.7 American tank, and they have excluded the Panther D at 5.7, or the A and Gs, and which are 6, I believe. So why aren't those here? Anyways, I take a hit from something, but I'm not sure exactly what that was. I think it's this J87 firing at me, but he's no real worry. So that's pretty much it for this game. Not sure what that was. I mean, maybe this AI artillery thing, which I'm not going to waste my time shooting at. Our team has started to capture B. I am going to move around this hill in front of me and then hook to my left, at which point I will go and move towards their spawn to see if there's anything there, anyone coming, which there isn't. I get fairly close and I decide to pull out of there, because that's, I don't like spawn camping. I don't like it being done to me, so I don't like doing it. So I really prefer to, not to do it to others. So I pull back, but I don't think we see any other enemy tanks. There are some more teammates of mine that are going to die to being bombed, but that's largely it. So yeah, this tank, the only faults are, it's not the its mobility is not that great. It does reverse really well, which is good, compared to, especially when you compare it to like a Panther and that pathetic reverse rate. But its mobility isn't quite as good as some other medium tanks, nor is its frontal armor of the hull, but the turret gun mantlet is quite well armored. So if you do want to get hull down, that is a very viable tactic for this tank. But its gun just reigns supreme, and I absolutely love using this thing. But anyways, let's head to the results, and I will see you back in the hangar. Alright, so it goes without saying that we won that match. And let's have a look here. So I got 7 ground kills, 7 critical hits, 12 hits, and some points from capturing the base. Got an insignia there. That gave me Avenger ×2, Multi-Strike ×2, Professional ×6, Shadow Strike, Ground Strike, One Shot, Anti-Mech, and Heavy Metal Fury, which must be a new addition. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this look at the M26, which I absolutely love. If you've enjoyed this video, considering hitting that like button and maybe subscribing for more content. This is Predator 458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.